Tunisia, people are protesting against unemployment and corruption, and they've been fighting with police in several parts of the country. At least one policeman has been killed in the most violent protests in Tunisia since the beginning of the Arab Spring in 2011. Demonstrations started this week, and there are calls for them to keep going on. Well, Navina Couture has been following those protests from Tunis. She joins me live. And Navina, more protests overnight. What's been happening?
Yes, as you've said earlier, the protests have been spreading. They started last Saturday in the southern city of Kasserine after a man was electrocuted and died there during protests. They have spread to cities in the south of the country, in Sidi Bouzid, to places like Gafsa and Gabes. Early in the week, there was a self-immolation in the southern city of Sfax. And last night, the protests spread to the capital, Tunis, to very poor neighborhoods with a lot of unemployed people there, setting tires on fire. But also we've seen protests in rural areas like Beja and Bizerte.
And Navina, what is it that these protesters want? What are they demanding from the government?
The demands are quite familiar. They're demanding jobs, they're demanding an end to corruption. I think for many of these people who seem to be between 20 and 40, who are quite young, there is not enough money going around, even if they're unemployed, to make ends meet, to rent a house, to be able to marry. And especially in the south of the country, the government is the main employer, the public sector is the main employer, and there has been no kind of private sector development. So people are looking towards the government to create jobs, which is very difficult for the government, given the financial situation the government is in.
And so what has been the response of the government? How are they handling the events of the last few weeks?
I have to say, I think people who've been watching the response have been quite disappointed by how disjointed the response has been. There was some talk about extra job creation earlier in the week. Then the government issued a correction saying that that was a mistake. The president, Beji Essebsi, has called on people to calm down. He is saying that he understands the demands of the people, but that these kind of things take more time. But I think what protesters are saying is that these demands have been made for the last 5 years, and there has been no change. And being here in Tunis, having covered political news out of Tunis, it's very hard to see how quickly the government can actually bring in some reforms if they have been dragging their feet for the last couple of years.
Okay, Navina Couture joining us there from Tunis. Many thanks.